So you finally finished your work on your ship, and you decide it's time to start adding in displays. Now, first of all, I hope your ship doesn't look like this one, because this is an old design. For your displays, you're going to need a couple things. So you're going to need a panel base and your panels itself. Now, depending on what you need, you're going to choose one of these three. I tend to go for this one, the small display panel, but I'll get in depth on why. The progress bar, I mean. So, the panel base is the place where you attach your displays to. On top of it, you will see a small groove where you can just snap your display onto. If it isn't in there, it will not work. You cannot put it on the back or anything, as I've tried myself in the very beginning, which I'm very ashamed to admit. So, for this tutorial, I'm also going to be using this small progress bar as a reference. However, I'm still going to be covering all of them. So, what can you do with them? In short, you can just display a value on them. That's really about their only purpose at the moment. However, it doesn't mean they don't have a purpose. Right now, most people tend to hook up their gas supply, their coolant, their generator rates, and perhaps a battery storage to them. In my case, I did 6. In the panel itself, you can set the value over here, and this value will be set automatically by an external thing, like a battery. For a text panel, it's basically the same story, except that it appears like this, and doesn't have a progress bar on it. This one is essentially just a larger version of the normal progress bar. So let's get started. First of all, you want to make sure you snap your display on your panel base. If you don't do this correctly, it will not work, and you'll be trying to figure out why for hours. I've been there. Then, don't forget to bolt it down. That's usually what I tend to forget. And for some reason, it's not allowing me to bolt. Let's just fix that. Yeah, that's the issue if you're working on glass, you'll never see what you're doing. Let's see, can I bolt now? There we go. Usually you get away with 1 bolt in the display. I tend to do 2, just so it looks symmetrical. There we go. After that, you want to start hooking up your panel base inside electricity, as it will require the data network to work. Now I'm just doing a very quick job of this, so it doesn't look any great. But it's about the idea. Just throwing these out. After this, you can set your minimal and maximum value. Now usually your minimal value should be 0, because that's really the only thing you need for it. However, if you're using it to, say for example, see your exact throttle, or your exact pitch or yaw, it might be useful to have it in the negatives. For the max value, you want to raise it up in this case. For this case, we're going to be using a battery, which has a maximum value of our electricity stored of 10,000. So I'm just going to append 2 zeros. This can be any number. It can be 1, it can be a million, it can be whatever it needs to be. Now, for this field, we're going to need to go to the battery and copy the second line. Now, this battery isn't a stock battery, so just for the sake of convenience, I'm just placing down a new one very quickly. So I can get it snapping on there. There we go. And let's just let all the bolts go ham on it. See if it wants to bolt it down. It's stuck in place, so that's fair enough. I'm using a new one because all the other ones already have different values, which is a little bit confusing to work with. So, you got your battery. You got battery priority, that's not something I'm going to dive into. The thing you want is your store's battery power. This maximum value is 10,000, however it doesn't show up at the moment because I haven't test flown the ship. When you do, it will change to 10k by default. So, what you do is you go into store battery power. Oh, I already did that by the looks of it. Hold on. Let me do it again. So, you click on store battery power, Control A, Control C, and enter. Always press enter, otherwise there is a chance it won't save what you just did. Then you go back to your panel, just paste it in, enter, and apparently my Teams is ringing. Can it stop doing that? Let's get that shit out of here. Nope, there we go. After you've done that, you will see your store battery power show up. And when I start test flying this thing, and I turn off the generator, by default it's turned on this ship. If I still attach my window, which apparently I disconnected somehow, you should see the value update. You won't now because I accidentally disconnected my window, so let's just patch that up real quick. So a couple bolts in here, is it solid? It's solid enough, let's go. Turn down the generator. And press the gas. And as you can see, your battery starts draining, and that's how you set up your displays. The panel base can also be used for the hybrid button and a few other things, but that's not really that important at the moment. So, that's it about cover it, how to set up your displays and, well, how to configure them. You can make this as big as you want. You only need one panel base per section of displays. For example, you can attach 5, 10, 100, whatever you need.